the mining sector at a younger age, what really attracted me was the location. For my own experience, I wanted to move closer to home, which was in North Queensland. And the closest job that I could really find that could meet all of my lifestyle changes, but also a different lifestyle as well, was in the mining sector, which was in regional Queensland. Yes, absolutely. I feel all of these initiatives are beneficial to attracting more women to the sector, but also things around our other talent groups, whether it be women returning from having children. What we have in our space culturally, a lot of our women have children earlier, which is a beautiful thing, and then having to look for career spaces that are convenient to them, whether it be 7-hour shifts or anything like that, that can be flexible work that can be offered in a mining sense. So that could be very beneficial to women. Yeah, this has always been an interesting question for us, and something that we've always tried to think about. Well, where are our women in terms of Indigenous women talent pools that we can really start to look at, unpack, and also have access to employment in the industry? What we've found is that incarceration is a huge impact for Indigenous peoples in Australia. And we're really looking for solutions to enable that talent pool to have access to job opportunities within our sector. We find that could be a really great solution and a really step back into community that can be both productive for industry, but then also something that's of a high skill set, or a really consistent work with strong safety culture and strong culture in general, that can really help to even out our society as a whole. Definitely. It's been a really lovely thing to see a lot more targeted Indigenous employment initiatives. What I really love about that is we're really being proactive and deliberate about placing people within roles, not only just operational, but at leadership roles as well, which has been very good to see, because it's definitely something that's been deficient within industry for a little while. So being deliberate there, but also training leaders as well on how to create culturally safe workplaces to ensure that the retention and success for this candidate is much more at a higher rate. Definitely this one, I love this one the most because it's very future focused. What we have found specifically in the Indigenous space is that we need to talk a lot more about environmental, social, and also governance around the industry, and really thinking about the education pieces that we have to share with everyone else, to really think about how involved mining is in everyday life, how the world is changing generally, and how we can positively influence and contribute to the future. Definitely loving the quote, "You can't be what you can't see." That's so effective. And what we've found is visiting schools, visiting universities as well, and learning and being inspired by our future STEM leaders, learning more of how we can be a much more safe space as well for them to work through into coming on site with us. But yes, definitely being there to answer questions, to ask questions as well. You know, that there's such a pool for knowledge as well. So having that shared value, but definitely having role models and access to speaking to them. Definitely reach out with all of the social media that we have now, amazing platforms such as LinkedIn. Definitely get on there, utilize your profile that you do have, and know that you can reach out to many amazing people, not only just in your state, in your country, but globally, thought leaders that can really help give you some advice or guidance around stepping into this space and really, really being whatever you'd like to be. This is my favorite space and probably my favorite question of the day. But the whole purpose of IRUMA was to really communicate a platform around how do we start to create opportunities for Indigenous women, but more so learn about the Indigenous women that are on board already. I feel that there's so many opportunities for us to share our stories because there are women who are doing amazing things in our industry and we just don't celebrate them enough. So this is a great opportunity to celebrate those stories. And for women who are aspiring to be in these spaces to also reach up and to learn more, build friendships, build communities, using a digital platform to connect, again, not only in Australia, but globally. I feel that this space, there's so much richness for us in terms of knowledge exchange, but cultural exchange as well. I think we have a lot more in common than what we realise, just because of geographical distances and COVID, of course. Doesn't mean that we can't continue to share the beautiful connectivity that we have. Definitely. So my career in the mining industry, when I first started as an operator, I really didn't think to look for role models at all because I didn't really think to aspire. I just thought, I'd come to work, do what I needed to do, pay my bills, go home and, build or invest or whichever in my own private life. But what I've really come to realize is that there's so many women out there who are wanting amazing things for other women who are in operational roles or in different roles as well, that are really wanting to build on each other's confidence, but also career and also network as well. So yes, myself personally, I've had a lot of success, but a lot of blessings as well, I would say, to meet a lot of women who are just amazing, doing great things in their fields, but more so the willingness to share their knowledge and take the time as well to listen. That's been really an amazing experience for me. I really love the idea of building a community. I know, and that's important for us culturally as well. Having both male and female leaders is very important, and sharing that equal load, I think where the point of difference is. Giving people time and speaking to them around what their professional development pathways are, but more so thinking about what are our communication tools that we're deficient in at the moment, and how do we start to break that down, whether it be cross-cultural, whether it be through gender diversity as well. How do we start to communicate effectively? Because I feel that once we build a communication platform or a good relationship with trust that help people want to communicate with each other, for me, I think we'll unpack and discover a lot of solutions that are right in front of us. Definitely access to education for me has always been a highlight on how we can start to improve. The best thing about COVID is there's that we've all now jumped online and we can all now start to figure out how do we start to continue to live a normal life in the new normal. So access to education has always been something that I've experienced my own self living in a remote and rural community. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this information or this education is more at a leadership level, really looking at some courses to place people into positions that are effective and that does influence decision making. So what I've really loved about the last 12 months is really there's been a resettlement or really clarity around what our current situation. I think us as a society, certainly myself, has slowed down a lot in terms of travel, moving forward and looking forward or, into the future. But what I've come to realize is that we've really had taken time to assess what we do have and how we can improve. Specifically for people in remote and rural communities, what we have seen is the gaps in terms of infrastructure and where we can improve. And so then that in itself will start to really be a solid building block for us to improve as an industry in terms of functioning remotely, but also working with community as well to work on things that are sustainable and that are sound investments as well.